That'll work.
My great granddaughter, she's 9. She wants to come. I need to get her up here.
We can pull them over, but she won't.
She wants to see inside the castle. She calls us the castle. She always has. Papa's office is in the
Todd
castle.
brought her in one.
What's going on here?
We're counting it.
Well, I don't think that she coming.
She'll go on.
I guess we're gonna have enough.
Well, she was in.
He moved
Oh,
over.
what's
Take
your
it back.
Karen comes?
Booming. Oh,
Is this
yeah.
one yours, or did I lay this?
It was
in?
late, right?
That's Karen's, yeah.
Insane. We're up.
I think so.
Just making my rounds. It's just a
Nationally speaking, positive mindset.
Yeah.
Picking up on.
Yeah, but you're exactly right.
Oh,
Like that. Consumer. Morning. How are you? Good, how are you?
pretty good. You bet.
And it moves the numbers.
Get in there. Future looks pretty good.
Yeah.
We can spend it.
Yeah.
Oh, Darren, yes, he'll be here at 10.
receipt down there on your desk Friday. Got it? Yeah. That's the only disadvantage.
Sit right there.
Yeah, come over there. Morning, y'all.
Toddy, what's up, Toddy?
It's a nice looking shirt you got on there. What size is that?
It's a little too big. I have
From larger people.
I think he does. I feel
We're picking up on that.
Come see me after the meeting, we'll work it out.
I'm feeling singled out a little bit there.
I don't know what you're asking, you know.
Life's good.
Yeah.
I know. He gets that too
I know he
He
was.
was. He sure was.
easy.
Let me ask you this question. Since we're on that subject.
That's all right.
Are you kidding me? Every day. So you won't feel bad when you get worked on a bigger man again.
Yeah. You'll come.
I've had so many whoopings.
Sure.
You know what I always said? I always told my boys that. I said, the bigger I am. They said, you can't catch me, Dad. But I said, yeah, but my belt's longer. So you better make that reach of that belt.
First step means a lot.
Because when you're heavy, you got a longer belt.
I remember one time.
Yeah, one time.
My dad didn't have that little thin belt on. And he reached for it. And he was mad that he was sitting around the barn.
The day I got, yeah.
It's 9 o'clock.
For that tail number.
That's even worse.
It works. I guess it's pretty well educated.
I was gonna come in here and say hi to everybody, but kind of let folks know that school corporation's over here.
Okay. That's fine.
And next year he's gonna be dealing with us, I think, on this SB1.
All right, good morning. I want to get the Washington County Council meeting called to order. Phil, do you want to call your meeting to order, please, for the commissioners?
County Commissioners call our meeting to order.
All right, this morning, as we get underway, we're going to stand for the pledge. Andrew's going to lead us in the pledge, and then Gerald will follow with prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Most kind and gracious Father in heaven, we give Thee the honor and the glory which is so deserving. We're thankful, Father, for all the good that you surround us with. We're thankful, Father, for the mindset and the health that allow us to be here, each soul which is represented here this morning. We're mindful, Father, especially this morning, of the disaster in Central Texas. We ask that you be with those families, comfort them as you can. We ask, Father, that you be with us as leaders of the community, that we can make decisions which are right and proper in your sight and the best decision for the community. We ask especially, Father, that you be with those who have chosen to protect us and serve us. Keep them safe. This is our prayer in Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, good morning once again. We welcome everyone to this joint meeting of the council and the commissioners. First off, public comment. We had one person sign in, so Keely Stengel is here this morning. We'll hear from Keely.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to come in and tell you all, we're just send some encouraging words to you as you get ready to go through budget season. I know Darren's going to be here this afternoon or later in this meeting and talking through what some of those challenges of SB1 is going to be affecting our budget and the county. And so I just want to say, after years of going through this process, it can be exhausting, but you are a team, and I know that you guys really care about the future of the community. And so as you face some of those tough, challenging decisions, I just want to let you know that there are other people in this community that know that this is a tough budget year for you guys, and wish you nothing but the best. And but thank you for your service and your willingness to put through the time and energy it takes to be able to provide good government for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
All right. First on the agenda here, items for consideration. I need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June the 2nd meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Preston, second by Andrew. All those in favor, right hand. Okay, passes unanimous. Tara Hunt was supposed to be here this morning, but she had some things going on. So basically, if you look, you had a salary ordinance amendment in there. It's money that has already, been approved through last year's budget. They're just needing to move some of that around. Michelle can probably shed a little more light on that as to what the movement is.
Yeah, the salaries were approved for the 2025 budget, and I'm not sure if you all are aware, but Adult Protective Services contract through the state has stopped as of June 30th. So one of her attorneys was being paid partly out of APSU. So what we've had to do is go in and shift that money's over to County General, which is going to require an additional of $8,600 to the general fund to help him finish the year. But basically, that's what the salary ordinance amendment is. And then we'll have an additional for August to cover the $8,600 that will be needed. And she's shifting more of her other attorney's salary to the County 4D incentive. So there will be an additional for that too in the County 4D incentive, if that makes sense.
Anybody got any questions about that? Tara, like I said, she was going to be here, but had some things come up, so couldn't make it in, but it's pretty much just a lateral move in those due to the APSU going away at the end of June. So that's basically what it is. So we'll do those additionals at the August meeting.
Yeah, I just need approval on the salary ordinance amendment.
Yeah, on the amendment so that she can shift that around. in there, so I will need a motion to do the amendment.
I'll make that.
Okay, Brad makes a motion, I need a second. Preston? All those in favor, right hand. Okay, amendment passes. All right, next up this morning, Salem Community School Superintendent Terry Gooden is here with us this morning. Terry just recently appointed to that role for Salem Schools, so you wanted to come in this morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me, and I want to say thank you, folks, for what you do. I know that when you go home at night, every night on social media, everybody's saying a great job you do, right? You never have any stress and no pressure. So I get that. I've been there. But hey, I wanted to reach out to the superintendent of Salem Schools and say hello. And if there's ways that we can work together, ways that we can partner together and whatever that looks like, whether that's cost, whether that's purchasing, whether that's some way in transportation, that the school corporation wants to do that. And what we'd like to do is, once this is all said and done, is you folks kind of get together a liaison that will work with the school that I can have contact with to sit down and talk about what some of these things are that we can partner with. And I've done that in other school corporations, and I think it can be successful here in Washington County as well. So really, that's all I had. I want to come and say hello and greet you folks. I know there's a lot of familiar faces here that I know. So, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, please. All right. So at this point, I'll ask if there's any questions that anybody has.
Just a little background. Terry's been a public educator for years. Spent a lot of time with Crothersville recently, and then now just newly appointed to take over the Salem superintendent role for a little while until they can get things trained. But Terry, a real good source. He's worked with counties and budgets and a little bit of everything over the years. So, yeah, good to have you. Welcome to Washington County.
Thank you very much. I look forward to our friendship. Please contact me if you have any questions, because I will be reaching out to you folks. But if you will, if someone can appoint, however how your committee structure works, if someone just appoint a liaison that can work with the school that we can have communication with to kind of be back and forth.
Sure. Yeah, we'll put that together and we'll get back to you on that, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next up, approval of additional appropriations. Michelle, you want to go over that, or do we need to go over it, or Kyra, one of you? Sorry.
It's for the town of Hardinsburg. We had asked for, 16,000, I think at the last one. We've now reduced that down to $3,845.10. This will shore up the general expenses and the utilities lines. And from this point on, we won't be paying any more of the bills. So any bill we get will be sent to Hardinsburg for them to pay on their own.
The amount again?
$3,845.10.
So that's what we're appropriating then. Okay.
Was the 2 correctional officers.
Right. So, any questions about those 2? The correctional officers were the ones we approved at the last meeting.
Yeah.
So, but the town of Hardinsburg, on your paper, it shows 16,000. It's actually 3480.
38.
384510. Yes. So I'll entertain a motion to approve both additional appropriations. So moved by Todd, second by Preston. All those in favor, right hand. Motion carries. So both appropriations approved. And there's an additional appropriation for the August 1st meeting. These will be the first readings of those appropriations, and we'll have the vote at the August meeting. So general fund for the prosecutor, $8,600.
Yeah.
And then law enforcement continuing education is 5,000. Those
Yes.
will be appropriations.
And the county 4D incentive is 15,750. Did I not have that on there? No, that came in late.
What was it?
$15,750.
And that was for,
That was to moving more of Trent's salary to
right,
the 4D incentive.
okay. That's a first reading on those. If you need any more information, you can reach out to Kyra and Michelle or prosecutor or about those, so.
She will be at the August
Yeah.
meeting, is what they said.
Any questions on those before we move forward?
No, but I have a question. Are you guys going to have a regular meeting in August in addition to budget hearings? Or are you going to cancel the, I mean, not that it matters, just
Right.
curious.
I think last year we done our regular meeting as well, so.
We did.
My thoughts are we probably need to have the regular meeting and then
Okay.
leave that week open for the budget.
Yeah, just curious, thank you.
Yes, sir. It's a good question. Thank you. All right, so if there's no further questions, then we'll talk about those at the August meeting. This is the first reading of those. The other one there is appropriate grant money for the solid waste management district, $16,350.
She got a grant for recycling equipment, so she just needs permission to take that grant money and put it in the line item
Right.
Yep.
to spend.
So I guess we need a motion
So
for
moved.
that. Gerald makes a motion, second by Andrew. All those in favor? Right hand, thank you. This motion carries for her to move that money. Okay, we're to reports, department heads. Yeah, Rick, you got anything for us this morning?
Not too much, it's a busy time of year. Budget's coming up. Anybody got any questions, anything going on, just let me know.
Okay, yep. Rick's always pretty hands-on, so if you need him, if you can catch him out there, not out somewhere working, then
Yeah, I see him on job.
he's on the move a lot.
He's on it.
Anybody else here this morning?
Are you, question?
Oh, yes, sir, Stephanie.
The court side still doing well. We have, of course, it's love's in the air this time of year, so we're pumping out the marriage licenses. And on the election side, of course, yeah, the voter list maintenance project, we are in the final stages of that. And then, of course, with the new law that took effect July 1st, where they kind of snuck in one of the bills, the definition of a candidate. So even if we're sitting in as an elected official, we are considered a candidate. So that fell over to our campaign finance area. So there is that new law, and you all have received an email. So July 11th at noon is the final time for the grace period. So all elected officials, anybody receiving compensation $5,000 and over, or taken in or expended $500, you're to have a CFA 1 file, finance, a reporting schedule. So under the statutes, we do not have to let you know, but I still feel obligated as your election administrator to let. But again, it's a new state law that we are obligated to follow. At the office. So me and my election deputy, it's extra work, so, but we're divided by it, so I understand it's and something that you all have to follow and keep up with.
If you haven't done that, you need to get that turned in by the 11th.
Yeah. And the state has come back because the Clerks Association, that's something that kind of slipped through when we were all fighting for our legislation and whatnot. So the state has come back that you do not have to have a bank account open if you're not making money. So don't fret on that. But if you have any questions, feel free to contact our office and we'll get everything
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know that.
Let's see, Brent, you got anything this morning?
Pretty much just going to echo what Rick said. It has been a busy time of year with Fair Week and the week of 4th of July. Like to get with me and talk about things. There's some people that expressed an interest in doing so.
All righty. Thank you, Brent. Did somebody have a question for Rick? Did you have a question for Rick?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it
All right,
was.
slipped you.
Oh, are you familiar with of course, the new project? Are you able to go in and look and see what's going on with the new highway project out here?
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Can you bring us a little bit up to date? I mean, where they at and that kind of thing?
I know that right now they're pouring the material bins. They finish up the drywall and the painting in the office. And I'd say that
Yeah.
might be a big number.
Yeah. Yeah. It's looking good.
Yeah, they're getting real close.
I got a question for Brent. How are you standing as far as your jailers down officers? Hard, I mean, I really get them all done.
The jail staff is probably pretty with the deputy situation.
All right. Any other questions for any of our elected officials here this morning? I didn't skip anybody, did I? Because sometimes I'm bad about doing that. All right. So, that being said, Alyssa, do you have anything for us this morning?
Good morning. Just a couple of things with new Indiana open door law that went into effect July 1st. So some amendments to the open door law changed what qualifies to be held in executive session. So I think that's important for this council to keep in mind if you do need to call an executive session on certain topics. So I'm just going to run through those. Discussion of employee-specific compensation, discussion of employment matters of individual employees, discussion of employee health care options with respect to special exceptions for coverage, discussion of changes to employee handbooks, review of negotiations on the performance of publicly bid contracts when a public meeting regarding the review would likely result in increased cost, discussion of certain solicitations for proposals involving bidders' proprietary information, and communications with an attorney that would be subject to attorney-client privilege. And so this list is definitely broader than the list that was in place before for what is proper to have in an executive session. Of course, if you ever have questions about, we want to discuss this, is that appropriate for executive session, always feel free to contact me and we can talk about that. But of course, anytime the executive session is held, the agenda is going to reflect that, and we'll also cite the Indiana Code provision as to the justification for the executive session. So we always need to keep that in mind, that whatever executive session falls into one of those categories. The other change to the open door law involves, it's more of just a transparency issue, which is what open door laws are all about. But for any board that this council is appointing you to, all of those public boards, those members, now their agendas need to include the body that appointed you, the authority of that appointing body, and then your term. So if you are sitting on this council and you've been appointed to another board, just keep in mind, and everyone, I think, is circulating this information, but if you were appointed to the River Hills Board, now their agendas need to reflect that you were appointed to that board by the Washington County Council and needs to include your term. And again, that way, it's just so the public is aware, they can now look at that agenda and know who appointed whom to that board and how long they're serving on it. And so that's going to be for all of those, you all appoint people, whether it's someone on this council or members of the public, to lots of different boards. And so all of those boards should be reflecting that appointment on their agendas and then also on the website. So either the Washington County website or the website for those boards or organizations need to reflect that information as well. So if anyone has questions about that, let me know, but just something for you all to keep in mind as you are serving on boards that this council appoints.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Yes.
So if they are to be listed on the agenda, does that mean that that board is subject to the?
So some of the boards that it's applying to are kind of state boards that are already subject to open door laws. But the agendas are just supposed to list who is appointing and the terms. But does that answer? Are you asking, I don't know, I would have to know which board you were talking about to say whether they were open to an open door law. I can't answer your questions on the spot, but I mean, I'm happy to, look at it, and if this council has a question about it.
The question is if they are required to list.
I don't know the answer to your question.
We can dive into that.
Right, I would have to look and actually see for those, because I don't represent those. Yes, but I don't represent those entities, and so I don't know the full scope of what they're subject to or not. I would have to look back at the Indiana code and check how they're created.
Someone from the council doesn't mean that they're subject to that law.
I think you're asking the same question in a different way, and what I'm telling.
What you're saying isn't really making any sense. So that's what I'm trying to clarify. You're just
Okay, can I help?
Yes.
Okay. The open door, the new laws on the Public Access Counselor's website say that the Economic Growth Partnership is not subject to the live streaming law or open meeting. They are in a section of special people or what have you. But the regular boards that are supposed to, like the trustees and the weed board, all of these little boards and all the townships have to start live streaming, and they have to actually start listing their live stream plus their agendas and any other documents attached to these meetings. Say okay, when you have for example, when you have your budget hearings, you have to have, or you're supposed to have by law, listed on, say, a calendar on your website. And the documents, like the budget, need to be there so that people can download it and actually have that in front of them. So that's part of what the live streaming law is. But the Economic Growth Partnership is not a part of that, but everybody else is. And that needs to be updated on our county website too, because even though the county is kind of compliant, it's still not compliant in that it doesn't have the documents listed next to the live streaming link, if that makes sense.
So there needs to be a link there.
That's
so
right.
that they
And I would suggest heavily a Google Calendar, a public Google Calendar. And I can show you an example of what we're looking for. Tonight I'm going to be helping Campbellsburg get up and going. And I would encourage you to look around at whatever, because it needs to happen by law, if that makes sense. Did that help any?
Yes.
Did that help any?
Thank you, Rhonda. I know you've done a lot of work on that, so that's good clarification. Thank you for that.
Like Christmas for me.
It is.
It is.
All righty. Jennifer, does that help a little bit? Or we can dive into it a little deeper and find out, but we'll have Alyssa check on that, which she really doesn't represent them per se, but yeah, we want to make sure we're compliant, so we'll double check on that for you. No problem. All right, I did skip over, Zach is here from Knapp Miller Brown. Wanted to talk a little bit this morning about our insurance coming up here, so he's gonna present some things here for us.
Morning.
Morning. Time for you too, isn't it? Yeah, renewal time.
Yeah.
How much did you save us?
Yeah.
Well,
he'll get into that.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
There you go. Right.
Are you, sir?
Doing good? Doing all right?
I'm good.
Thanks, sir. I got an extra. Okay, I made it over to the commissioners meeting last week, and we were talking about the medical insurance premiums versus total claims paid, and I list that right off the bat. Premiums paid from September through March of this year was $733,060.23. Total claims paid in that same period, it came to $729,373. So that's a very high number on claims paid versus premium. They did release the renewal rate increase initially. Anthem was looking at increasing 24.34% on the medical insurance. After reviewing some of the high-cost claimants that they sent, you guys have 4 high-cost claimants in the group right now, and they're listed below there. But one seems more of like a shock claim, something that what you call is something that happened, but it's not going to be ongoing. So I had them kind of look into that. They did reply this Sunday with an email that they were agreeable to a 14.5% increase. Towards the end of the week, I basically sent this out to bid with Allstate, which is now, they got purchased by Nationwide, so it's Nationwide benefits. They fall more in the level funded space where they underwrite the group. With the claims paid being such a high amount, I'm not sure how successful we'll be on getting a bid back from them, but obviously I'll let you know as soon as I find out. United Healthcare, they have the level funded space. They also have the fully insured space, and that's what you guys are currently in. You're in a fully insured plan. Fully insured, just to kind of give you a brief little snippet of what that means, is you're in basically this very large bucket of people. And fully insured, the carrier can't deny you coverage as a group. So they have to take you regardless of claims, but they can rate appropriately in large groups. So that's what you're seeing. I've also sent it out to Angle Health. They're a newer carrier that uses the Cigna and Aetna networks. I know from speaking to somebody over the weekend that U of L has made some moves, and United Healthcare currently is not in network with U of L. So there's some issues there. Usually when that happens, it's a negotiating tool. Baptist, see that quite a bit through Baptist on negotiating with the carriers for compensation on claims. We'll see what happens there, but I'm keeping an eye on that. We talked last week about kind of the prescribed drugs, the top 10. As you can see there on the list, top rank is Ozempic, and the second one is Mounjaro. These are anti-diabetic drugs. spoke to Anthem, and they had, at the beginning of the year, changed their approval process for these drugs. I think they kind of seen the same situations that was brought up last week on are these being prescribed for just weight loss or as anti-diabetic. At the beginning of 2024, Anthem, to get approved for the drug now, or these drugs, the provider has to send in an A1C test to prove. So that's kind of probably slowed down some of that, where if you want that and you don't have the qualifying A1C number, it would be more of an out-of-pocket cost to the employees instead of on the tiered copay. But you can see that there's quite a few scripts there that are being ran for those drugs. On the second page there, it kind of breaks down the census. You guys carve out spouses on the plan, so really the employee has employee-only option, and then employee, child, or children option. You've got the $3,200 deductible plan, or you can decide with a $1,000 deductible plan. As you can see, you got 73 employee-onlys on the $3,200 deductible, 12 elect children coverage on there. And then on the $1,000 deductible plan, you have 48 that do employee only and only 9 with the employee children. That shows the 24.34% increase. That was the initial rate increase that Anthem was going with. Obviously, email got that down to 14%. And then I just broke down kind of the employer cost, the contributions that you guys put towards the medical insurance. Legally, you have to at least cover 50%. You guys are well over that, especially on the employee-only options. For the higher deductible option, you guys contribute 95%, which amounts to, if on that 24% increase, that's $743 out of the $783. So you guys cover quite a bit on the employee-only option there. As you can see, 95% on the higher deductible option. If you elect to have children on the plan with you, it's 65% is what the county takes care of. And then you go with your lower deductible options with the $1,000 deductible, you guys cover 85%. And 60% if they choose to add their children onto the plan as well. So with that total monthly projected cost of the 24%, you're looking at about $113,374, and that's the monthly cost for the employer side. Annualize that, you're looking at about right around $1.3 million. I wanted to also come here and talk about a free program that they do provide the employees of the group. It's a Move to Medicare program. There are quite a few that are getting closer to that 65 age range, or they're already 65 plus. Anthem provides the group assistance. You just call the hotline and they can kind of line up with your supplements to kind of mimic as close as they can get the group plan that they're currently on. Free service. It's a way, obviously, as an employer, you can't force anybody off the group to go to Medicare, but it may be a benefit cost-wise to the employee, but it's a free program that they have, and it's provided to them. So I wanted to add that in there. There's flyers that I can provide you guys to put on bulletin boards throughout the county offices, just to get the word out there that is there.
Excuse me, who did you say backs that program?
Anthem.
Anthem.
Yep. But with that, I'm waiting on the rates to get back, or the bids from Nationwide, United Healthcare, and Angle Health to see if there's any better options for the county. We'll see.
And this, insurance continues to be a big concern for not only the council, but the commissioners and our county employees as a whole. So that's one reason why we wanted to bring Zach in and let him explain, because this falls under our board concerns, and it's something that pretty touchy every year, and it continues to get that more and more that way. So just wanted everyone to kind of understand, what he's dealing with, trying to provide that service to our employees. So any other questions for Zach on the insurance?
What's that? On the clinic? Yeah, on the clinic, just to kind of go over that. They renew January. They're capped at a 4% increase each year. And to give you an idea, and this benefit is for the employees that elect medical coverage. It allows them to go to the clinic over by Gene's Extrusions to get your kind of preventative tests, a lot of generic drugs. If they don't carry it, then obviously they can provide that at a different pharmacy. But last year you had a 3.2% increase, which amounted to $88.66 per member per month to $91.50. I won't know what that increase would look like until we get a little bit closer to October, but they are capped at 4% there. So that's where we're at with the clinic. I think a lot of people, Donna does great out there. But yeah, I think a lot of employees, when I go around on the open enrollment, people are always asking, is the clinic still going? And I'm like, yep, we're still rolling with it. I wanted to add, I know you guys do carve out spouses. The question was asked about rates. If you added spouses to the plan, they are on that second page. And also employee plus family. If you add more people to the group, they're healthy, it could help the group. But if they're unhealthy, obviously that's the negative side of it. Spouses tend to be a larger claim base in group space. It's just kind of a known thing. But it is a benefit. Obviously, that's been carved out, and that was due to how unhealthy the groups were several years ago. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring that in there. You'd ask for that, but so it's kind of up in the air on if it could help or it could hurt. I know cost, obviously, that would be up to you of how much percentage you'd want to give to that. If 0%, it gets passed on to the employee 100%. But yeah, that's just just wanted to bring that in as you asked to provide that.
Okay. Any other questions for Zach on the insurance?
Zach, the total number reflecting the 14.5%. Do you have that number?
I don't have that. They just shot a very brief email, said, yes, they are agreeable to 14.5. They didn't give me an updated numbers, how that breaks down, each category, each tier. Once that's received, yeah, I'll be disclosing that.
All right. Zach does a great job for us.
Thank you.
You need to get them in a headlock.
I know, I try.
Get them down the best you can. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'll add just, with fully insured space, In Indiana, you're very limited. We had Humana. You guys had Humana for several years. Had a great Go 365 program, wellness program. Anthem does provide a program. It doesn't stack up as well as the Go 365, but when they left the group space medically, it just kind of, it's down to United Healthcare fully insured, Anthem fully insured. There's some carriers that will use Cigna and Aetna, but it's just kind of a tough spot that we're all in.
Thank you, Zach.
Yep,
Appreciate
not a
it.
problem. Thank you.
All right. I kind of jumped over Kyra there. Kyra, did you have anything this morning? Sorry. Okay. All right. Board comments and concerns. We'll start with our guest this morning, our commissioners. Phil, you got anything?
Not really.
Okay. Todd?
I think I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cardwell?
No, sir, thank you.
Good. All right. We'll keep going around the room. Preston?
No, sir.
Todd?
Is there any update on the 4-H building?
Waiting on the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. They have prioritized child care projects. Apparently the Y is, they've approved that. Keely, is Keely still? No.
She loves. So that project, they get it funded and,
Yeah, the Y, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah, my understanding was they did that. They're doing things piecemeal, and of course they have to review everything that was submitted with the new governor. You know, he was on the Trump Elon Musk kick, and I don't have any problem with it to an extent, but trying to be more economically responsible. The Indiana Economic Development Director either resigned or was fired. He ordered an audit immediately of everything, so everything has been slowing down to a crawl, which is kind of putting us in a little bit of bind because these people that sit behind cubicles in these big office buildings don't understand that, you know, some of these projects are subject to construction season, weather, so on and so forth. But anyway, just wait and see.
Thank you.
Andrew? Good. Mr. Gilbert?
Don't have anything.
Mr. Fleming?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I don't have anything myself this morning, and we do have, as we move forward in our meeting, I will say Darren Bates is here, I believe. Right? Is he not here yet? Okay, well, we're going to have Darren Bates here hopefully this afternoon to, or behind our meeting here to kind of go over some things on that Senate Bill 1. So,
Could we just go ahead and start the budget hearings?
no, Todd, we can't. But give me a break. Yes. That's what I was going to do. Let's take a short recess. Darren had a little bit of travel time, so we'll see if we can't get a hold of him, see maybe if he got stuck in traffic or construction or something going on around. So I'm going to recess for, we'll take a 10-minute recess and come back in at 9:55. So we'll do that recess now and then we'll come back.
Thank you.
10 minutes.